Let's get situated and let us do this thing. Let's call our top five, and we are back into it. And as you can tell, I am dressed up in San Jose teal. And I've got this bad boy ready to go because we are hanging out in Silicon Valley, where we are home of the San Jose Sharks. And good Lord, we got some stuff to talk about with the San Jose Sharks. Jerseys, hit and miss every once in a while, but their itinerary and their repertoire pretty cool. If you go back to 89 and 1990 when they were started talking about bringing something to the Bay Area, and then it finally happened in 1991. So we'll get right into that as we always do with this top five series. There's this thing called a subscribe button. Hit that if you want to be alerted with all the new stuff that comes out. We've been starting this thing since day one. We started at Anaheim and we've come all the way to San Jose. Little pun, little rhyme there. But if you want to see all the other ones, definitely jump on the channel, hit that sub button. But definitely, if you want to scroll down, I will, when the whole thing is done, I will definitely have a list of all the top fives in what we do here, because we will do all teams. We even did a couple of the teams that are no longer affiliated. We did in Atlanta, we did Quebec, we did Hartford. San Jose, hanging out there. They've been in the league since 1991. Got to play in the old school Cow Palace in San Francisco for a couple of years until they got their new building in San Jose, the SAP Center, which is still in existence and needs a couple touches up every now and then because it's still they're thinking about trying to get a new building there, but they are thinking about probably touching it up for another 10 years, then think about it down the road because that building is loud. That building is iconic now that we're in 2025. And when the Sharks came into the business, Cow Palace wasn't crazy. It was one of those things where the locker rooms, you had to go up a set of stairs to go to the locker room in San Jose. I remember when the Penguins were playing there a long time ago. So it's a lot of cool stuff to talk about with San Jose. Every time I do a thing on here, we do it through the old school thing known as the NHL Uniform Database. Whenever you get an opportunity, definitely check this out if you want to be like somewhat a little educated, but you get to see all the time frames and all the templates of the years of what they did. And two people that are only two people that are retired. Patrick Marleau and Big Joe Thornton has their things up in there. Now we also know how crazy San Jose can be. They were always trying for years and years and years to get out of that run of being, we were being that fiddle of being an expansion team we can't get over. Then they finally beat the Red Wings in the playoffs that one year. And then they made one Stanley Cup appearance against the Penguins, and that was a good series. I really didn't even care who won that series because it was good to see San Jose in the Stanley Cup final, and they actually had a really, really good run. They had a really good run. So I look at all these things and I always say I try to burn through this, but it's not like what we remember. This is what we have right now. And to be quite honest with you, they needed that little bit of a rebrand. The logo has been remaining the same, little bit of that cartoonish Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle eye look and everything like that. Well, the newer type of, comic book type of thing. I totally, at this day and age, buying it in a heartbeat. So there's a lot of people that have been redoing Sharks jerseys and templates over. If you go on sports templates or .com or something, but they changed everything up. Material on the stripes, material down on the bottom of the jersey, and they added the shark fin on the top of the jersey. Bring back that hard, shiny teal. Not totally shiny teal. It's what that is right there. But the nice rebrand is what it needs, something refreshed more than what we had with this one. This one definitely had a little bit of the orange trim on it. This one here has on the back collar, and the white one's pretty dope as well. I'm not gonna lie, they did a fantastic job with this. But we also go back to, let me just narrow down. We go back to when they were hanging around the old CCM era, and they had that different collar. Yeah, this was back. We can go through this together. We go through this. It was 98, 2000. It was 98. They actually had this as a third jersey. That was officially their first third jersey in history. And then they just kept this going on until around 2007. And then they started having a white version of this. And I'm not going to lie, at that time with CCM and all that, you were in the 2000s era. They were sick looking. And One time, I think one of them, and I could be wrong, but if I am, and you happen to find out, one of those jerseys in San Jose, I think Nike did them. And it was the one tear. It could be right around the 2000 mark, because actually, if I go back and just toy with this, where was this at? I had it saved. There it is. This is the one from 2000. I mean, it's under a vintage CCM. You could buy this at Mitchell and Ness or something like that. But let me just go back. What was this around the 2000? Kind of, almost. I can't really tell. But one of the jerseys I think was in that run that Nike did them, and Nike took a handful of teams. And I think Philly, Detroit, Chicago. I think the Rangers. I think Anaheim was one of them, but I don't know if San Jose was one or not. If you do know, put a comment in. But they started being a little bit of that. We are the standout team in the league. We have teal. Nobody else has teal in the league, and they really stuck out to what they basically had when they went to this version. The number font was all different, and then they went to like this, and they started putting a little bit more black into it. And I'll tell you what, the black jerseys were phenomenal done. And they got the back collar that says this is Sharks territory. All the black jerseys that San Jose has ever done, awesome, excellent work. Then like this one is there's nothing to it. Two stripes, bottom's clean. You got your shoulder patches. San Jose has done well with their jerseys. It's not it's not over the top like B plus, A plus, but they've done fairly well with what they had in the short amount of time that they've done it. And there's only a couple times they may have had a hiccup, and this might have been one of them, and he still even wasn't that. This was when they did the reverse retro, and they did it under the old California Golden Seals. You could still get this jersey on eBay, and it's dirt cheap, and it's a relic. It's not real. Well, I wouldn't say it's a relic, but it brings back the old California Golden Seals thing under a white, and instead of the dark forest green that the Seal did at one point in there. I did a video with the California Golden Seals too, but they just put sharks in, and then you got the stripes on the off shoulder. It really looks like a roller hockey jersey. It really does. But it brought back a little bit of that throwback essence. And this actually was not a bad jersey, but the Sharks are also on a major rebuild too, so we get that. I mean, they did fairly decent as well. Let me see what I actually have here. I may have my top 10. So let me just go through this. 3, 2, 1. Let me just find it out. Well, this was that one, and we'll get to it actually right now. How about we do this? And I'll do number 5, and I'm actually going to do the road jersey. The one I have. I mean, this is basically what I have here, and that's basically the road. This is what they wore. If I have to double check myself, 2016. Yeah, that's in resemblance. That's what they wore when they faced the Penguins in the Cup final. They'll remember this is what they wore when they went to Pittsburgh, and they had that big run during the playoffs. They beat the Blues in the West Final. They still had the little bit of the orange trim. That wasn't much, and then they added the SJ logo with the shark on it. This has been a clean look for them, and it did really well. I'll give this at 5. Number 4, I'm going to go to the Stadium Series that they played this game in Levi's over at Santa Clara. I think they played LA. I have to double check and look, but I could be. I think they played LA. Throw a comment in, and I know I've done videos with some of this before. But then when they added the Stadium Series patch, and then they added that Northern California, the NorCal logo, they're starting to push that because now, everybody has regional type of stuff. South Florida, North Texas, NorCal. There's always SoCal. Now there's NorCal because NorCal is a whole completely different world than California. That's where all the big businesses are. And they want to push all that stuff. That is Silicon Valley, and that's San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland. That's that entire area. I'll give this one at 4. Number 3, I'm going to go the black jersey, that third jersey that they're using right now with the updated Finn logo, and this is the one that they do have the NorCal patch on it. Phenomenal jersey. I mean, I may have put this. I don't remember what I put this in my tier list. I'll have to double check, but you can find that as well when I did. When I did third jersey. I don't know if I did that or if I do. That gives me something to do for a future video. But this black jersey is gorgeous. The striping pattern, it's kind of like future, like sun, like distant wave patterns. The teal looks sharp on that. And you get the shark teeth on the back collar. This is a great black, maybe one of the best black jerseys in the business. This is at 3. Number 2, I'm going to go the one jersey that they wore with the block shoulders that points down. This era was what? I have to go back and look. They did this. This went all the way for actually about from 2007 to 2013. This was in the Reebok era. And this jersey actually had a lot of character, and they needed a little bit more with the new logo, and they added a lot more of that little bit of that off burst. It's almost Texas Longhorn orange, not totally, but has a little bit of that tint off of it, and it sets the jersey off a little bit, adds a little bit more essence to it. But the block shoulders on that, the points down, adds a little more definition to it, and this was a good jersey, no question. The white one was just as good as well. My number one is going to be going back to the old school. I will go back to the original logo. I will go back to the original white, black, silver stripes on the bottom and the arms. The white one was just as good. And it brings me back to when they started. When I first watched it, I saw some on ESPN. I'm like, hey, Dad, looks like San Francisco's getting a hockey team, the Sharks. But then I figured out it was San Jose. I was like, San Jose doesn't have anything major. Well, now San Jose also has an MLS team. They're going to start. San Jose is also right in there. But when I remember this jersey, this is what you saw: the Pat Falloon, Doug Wilson, Arturs Irbe, Brian Hayward, all those things, and whoever had the mask that had the teeth on it. Um, this is throwback as it can get, and they get to play the Cowboys, and then they got their new building. This was just a great jersey, and it's a great throwback to find. Maybe an easy throwback. That's when starters started doing their stuff, but I just remember most of those days when it was San Jose, and it brings you back to a little bit. And I'll shut the bar down real quick. I mean, there's no question San Jose is actually one of the better brands in the league. And now they're going to start picking up a lot more because it's not just like one city. It's now a region. It's not like New England and Boston. It's not like, well, the Florida Panthers are in Sunrise, but it's South Florida. And I always bring Miami in because Sunrise is kind of suburban Miami, but they call that region South Florida. San Jose is in the whole era of Silicon Valley, NorCal with your San Franciscos, your Oaklands, and Oakland's losing a lot of teams. And San Francisco gets the Golden State Warriors. You get San Jose, who has now NHL, and they have had the San Jose Earthquakes of the Major League Soccer. San Jose's trying to get more. There at one point they were trying to get the A's, but then you got the 49ers who are stationed in Santa Clara. Um, it's one of your bigger booms in the entire league is San Jose, and it's the Sharks. Everybody likes new things. You stay current, and they loved seeing when the Sharks came out, and they loved seeing the new stuff that came out, and the teal, and that's what hits. And you don't even have to like the team, but when you see it was the Sharks, I'm like, oh, that's San Jose. I mean, it's a cool thing to have. Do you remember what you liked with the San Jose Sharks? Which one was your favorite? I remember most definitely, and I'm glad I did this one. This was a cool one to do. So if you remember something with the San Jose and which one was your favorite, put a comment in. Chuck a like if you liked the video. And this was a fun one to do because the next one's going to be Seattle. I get to do all the only few that the Seattle Kraken have, and we'll do that down the road. Until then, bars closed. Go out and do something fun, and I'll see you legends in the next one. That right there is the San Jose Sharks. You find your way to San Jose. See you in the next one.